Tourism just collapsed, and not in some small corner of America, but across some of its most iconic, vibrant, and economically dependent states. In 2025, empty airports, silent boardwalks, and vacant hotel lobbies are painting a haunting picture. U.S. tourism, once a reliable economic engine generating trillions in revenue and sustaining millions of jobs, is now grinding to a halt. What's even more shocking, there was no single disaster, no earthquake, no global pandemic. This collapse has come quietly, through rising costs, global tensions, internal policy missteps, and the chilling effects of President Trump's newly proposed tariffs and visa tightening initiatives. International travelers, once the lifeblood of places like New York, California, and Florida, are simply not coming. Tour operators are folding, hotel chains are laying off workers, and entire tourism-reliant cities are teetering on economic collapse. Could this signal a long-term decline for U.S. tourism? And what happens when the very cities built on entertainment, sun, and fantasy no longer attract the world? Before we dive deeper into which states are in the worst shape, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another breakdown from the African web. Nevada. In Nevada, the glitter is fading. Casinos along the Las Vegas Strip are operating below capacity, buffets are closing early, and once busy entertainment venues are seeing record low attendance. For the first time in more than a decade, Las Vegas has recorded a staggering 6% drop in visitor numbers. The once booming hospitality sector, a cornerstone of Nevada's economy, is starting to fracture. As hotel occupancy declines and convention attendance plummets, thousands of workers are being laid off. The bigger concern: this downturn might not be a temporary slump. It could represent a permanent shift away from traditional tourism models. Real estate investors are already starting to pull back from the Strip, suggesting a deeper and more painful reset could be on the horizon. California. California is slipping, and not quietly. Major destinations like San Francisco, Anaheim, and parts of Los Angeles are experiencing a sharp decline in foot traffic. International tourism, especially from Canada and Asia, has dried up considerably. With rising visa wait times and fears of a tightened border scrutiny under the Trump administration, many foreign travelers are skipping California altogether. This decline is hitting an already fragile economy hard. Hotel revenues are down, retail storefronts in tourist zones are closing, and even Disney is seeing thinner lines. With the cost of living at record highs, California's tourism slowdown is adding a dangerous layer of strain on local economies that depend heavily on visitor spending. Florida. Florida, the titan of U.S. tourism, is suddenly standing on unstable ground. The Sunshine State depends heavily on international tourism, particularly from Canada and South America. But in 2025, flight bookings to Florida have plunged over 70%, and the state is staring down a projected $2.1 billion revenue shortfall. Theme parks, once overrun with visitors, are now offering discounts just to fill seats. Over 14,000 tourism-related jobs are at risk, and the future looks grim. With no real contingency plan, Florida's economy, built on beaches, fantasy, and spectacle, is highly exposed. Rising insurance costs, heat waves, and stricter immigration scrutiny are only accelerating the crisis. New York. The streets of New York City are quieter than anyone expected. Tourism forecasts have been revised downward, with 3 million fewer expected visitors this year, and a full 2 million of those were supposed to be international travelers. This matters more than many realize. International tourists account for nearly half of tourism-related spending in NYC. What's causing this downturn? A combination of global inflation, high costs, a strengthening dollar, and growing concerns about safety and sanitation. With fewer tourists comes a domino effect. Restaurants close, local businesses suffer, and tax revenues shrink. New York's position as a global hub is beginning to erode under the weight of its own instability. Hawaii. Even paradise isn't immune. Hawaii, long considered a crown jewel in U.S. tourism, is seeing cracks in its lucrative visitor economy. International travel, especially from Japan and Canada, has declined sharply. The average visitor is now spending less, and new regulations on vacation rentals are compounding the issue. Add to this the effects of wildfires, expensive airfare, and local resentment against over-tourism, and the result is a worrying economic shift. Over 20% of Hawaii's economy relies on tourism. Without a plan B, the state is dangerously exposed to any shock in global travel trends. Arizona. Arizona's tourism industry is flickering. Visitor spending has dropped nearly 7%, and international tourism has declined by over 10%. The state's stunning landscapes are less accessible due to record-breaking heat waves, wildfire concerns, and tightened water use restrictions. As conditions worsen, businesses are beginning to retreat. Construction projects have stalled, short-term rentals sit vacant, and seasonal tourism jobs are vanishing. Arizona's brand, built around outdoor wonder, is now competing with climate realities that are harder and harder to ignore. Louisiana. In Louisiana, the problem isn't just slowdown, it's full-on stall. New Orleans, the state's cultural and tourism epicenter, has seen a 20% decline in international travelers. The result? Empty hotel rooms, major festivals drawing fewer crowds, and rising vacancy rates in key entertainment districts. Factors like escalating crime, intensifying summer heat, and increasingly destructive hurricane seasons have made Louisiana a less attractive destination. Tourists are opting for places that feel safer and more predictable, even if they're less exciting. Missouri. Tourism engines in Missouri are starting to seize up, especially in places like St. Louis, Branson, and Kansas City. Visitor spending is down, and in Branson, a city once bustling with live shows and family attractions, theaters are closing as audiences shrink. St. Louis is grappling with rising crime headlines and falling convention business, while hotels slash prices just to keep rooms filled. Missouri's heavy reliance on domestic, drive-in tourism is being threatened by rising gas prices and shifting family priorities. Illinois. The science spreading through Illinois goes beyond Chicago's city limits. Chicago itself has seen international tourism fall by over 14%, and business travel is slumping too. International visitors, especially from Europe and Asia, are skipping the windy city over concerns about crime and high costs. Statewide attractions, museums, fairs, heritage sites are struggling to bring in crowds. The result? Thousands of tourism jobs are vanishing, and entire communities are watching their local economies unravel. Texas. Even the mighty Lone Star State is shrinking on the tourism front. In Austin, hotel occupancy has dropped over 11%. San Antonio's Riverwalk is less crowded, with convention bookings falling. In Houston, flight arrivals are down and trade shows are thinning due to hurricane threats and unstable power grids. Across the board, rising temperatures, unpredictable weather patterns, and economic uncertainty are keeping visitors away. The sheer scale of Texas makes recovery difficult. Without consistent foot traffic, cities are losing their tourism identity. What we're witnessing in 2025 is not a temporary slump, it's a transformation. US tourism is unraveling in real time, and these 10 states are standing at the edge of collapse. Will the federal government under President Trump step in to reverse these trends? Or are the new tariffs and immigration crackdowns part of a broader shift away from international tourism? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should America reinvent its tourism model, or is this the beginning of a long-term decline? If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the African Web for more in-depth analysis on global trends and their impact on power, policy, and people.